Red Sox closer Craig Kimbrel reacts after allowing a double against the Blue Jays. AP baseball, especially as shown on TV, the way most of us observe it, is now, like most everything else, a matter of ideology versus practicality. How so? Well, take an ACLU lawyer who is opposed to profiling on constitutional grounds. In America, everyone is entitled to the benefit of every doubt. Agreed. But one day that ACLU lawyer, his or her spouse and their kids plan to fly to, say, Paris. There's a choice: they can fly ideological airlines, which assiduously, nobly and blissfully avoids all passenger profiling and other invasive security measures. Or they can fly Air Practical, which, as a matter of maximum security, gets in your face, luggage, pockets, shoes and asks questions that constitutionally are none of its business. I'd strongly suggest the ACLU lawyer would, as a matter of family and self-security, choose Air Practical, even if its regulations are ideologically and perhaps even legally opposed to invasive, constitutional guarantees. Only an idiot or a terrorist would board the other flight. That naturally brings us to 21st century Big League Baseball, which continues to both suffer and cause nervous breakdowns as it sacrifices sensible, practical ways to win games to fanciful utopian strategies that regularly encourage both teams to do all they can to lose. Question: how many pitchers, out of high school, college or from wherever, are drafted as pre-existing relievers, as designated inning pitchers or closers? Overwhelmingly, they were accomplished starters, accustomed to pitching deep into games. Pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre talks with Mariners closer Edwin Diaz. Getty Images now, for one reason or another, and likely because these drafted starters have shown themselves to be not quite as good as other drafted starters, they become relievers. Yet even if they enter in the 6th inning and retire the side on 10 pitches, they're removed on the ideological wish that the next designated inning reliever, and then the next, all drafted as starters, on the same day in the same game and in the same order, will be as effective as the one who conquered the 6th. As a matter of applied practicality, this is preposterous. But here we are, still. The save rule, further inspired by the once-in-a-decade formulaic presence of Mariano Rivera, has made dope-dopes out of managers. If they have a 4 or 5 run lead in the 9th, they won't waste their closer. They may even stay with the guy, the former starter, who pitched well in the 8th. But a save-qualifying 3-run lead causes panic. The closer, even if he's your latest because the previous 2 or 3 failed, now must close, one way or the other. The designated closer must pitch the 9th. The practical has been lost on all fronts. ESPN, throughout Sunday night's Yankees-Mets game, had no other scores to report. Naturally, MLB sold customer baited and switched late Sunday night games to ESPN, thus all other games logically were over. So, on this night, ESPN didn't have to shrink the view to scroll updated scores. It didn't have to spend nearly 3 hours repeating the same results. It could do so, occasionally, thus we could enjoy, as a practical matter, a larger, cleaner, less distracting view. Fat chance. And the fresh info disseminated on the telecasts as true ideally would be true if it were not false. Sunday, Alex Rodriguez pointed to the continued absence of Yoenis Cespedes as depriving the Mets of their one proven superstar, despite piles of hard evidence to the contrary. Cespedes, at $110 million over 4, is paid like a superstar, but by now the plugged-in baseball world knows, as many knew then, that the Mets suckered themselves into spending a fortune for a reliably undependable, and different talent 3 previous teams no longer could suffer. But the good faith practicality of truth-telling has been lost to the assumption audiences can neither see nor think. Giancarlo Stanton looks on after hitting a home run. Paul J. Barris will for $325 million. Giancarlo Stanton continues to loiter near the batter's box to see what happens to a ball he has hit before deciding whether it's worth his time and money to run toward first. That's inexcusably bad baseball in Little League, where they play for ice cream. But on Yes, where Telltale Video is often inserted, what's there for the seeing, telling and knowing doesn't appear. 2 seasons ago, Stanton wrecked both the Marlins' playoff hopes and his groin by standing and watching. Instead of easily reaching second when his fly ball fell, he was easily thrown out, sliding awkwardly, trying to stretch a double into a double. And he appears willing to do so again. Ideologically, he thought the ball would be caught. But as a practical matter, he was out for 30 games. Then there's the new age shift, the one, as employed by the Mets, that has twice left third base unguarded with a man on second. Such shifts are also easily defeated, perhaps forever, with a simple bunt. What's a bunt? Ask your old man, assuming he's a practical man. Gambling with lives of voters. So now heroic politicians are exploiting legalized sports gambling for TV and photo ops. Delaware Governor John Carney posed making the state's first legal sports wager when he went to a horse track to place a $10 baseball bet. Yep, no harm, no foul. Just a small, fun bet. But what Carney did not tell his constituents, as if they'd travel to place an occasional $10 bet, is that if wagering operations of any kind were reliant on such bettors, there would be no operations. Such wagering wouldn't cover a week's electric bill. Legalized gambling is predicated on citizens losing a lot of their money, preferably as often as possible. That truth is never spoken. And now states are in the business of cultivating more such gamblers. Fox open coverage, a rough go. How many times must we write it? It's a major, just let us watch it. Instead, Thursday on Fox, we were treated to Joe Buck, on camera with U.S. Open Championship golf being played nearby, doing that despite going 4 over after 2. I've been thoroughly impressed with the way Tiger Woods has pulled it all together. Woods, at the time, had played 10 more holes at even par, and double bogeyed the next hole to go 6 over. Thus moments later, Buck declared, and so the frustration mounting for Tiger Woods. Thursday's leader through 12, Dustin Johnson, as repeatedly shown by Fox, had holed out a sand shot for birdie. Still, Paul Azinger, supported by Fox Graphic, said, he has been putting great today, only 15 putts through 12 holes. That's great, but he had made a no-putt birdie.